welcome back. This is episode 12, the 12 Notes Podcast. We got Annimeanz in here.
What up, what up, what up?
OG.
How y'all doing?
Shit. So I want to start with you, like, from how you started and where you started.
Started rapping. I started rapping in jail. I started really writing probably like in the summer of maybe 2003.
Oh, okay.
I was in jail already like 4 years.
So this was like shady aftermath.
Yeah. That was that's exactly what I was. I was the hugest G Unit fan.
Yeah.
Shine, fucking Game, you know, everything G Unit. Jay-Z, Nas.
So you grew up like listening to hip hop and everything?
Yeah, man. I grew up listening to LL Cool J, Rock the Bells.
Oh shit.
A specific tape that I had was Walking with a Panther. What else? And then, you know, NWA, Eazy-E, fucking, and it just went from there. RBL Posse, all that shit, you know. Fucking Mentirosa, just, you know, all that shit. Yeah, everything you could think of.
So did somebody like put you on, or you just kind of fell into it?
Nah, cause where I grew up like in a you know, like this, like a barrio, like an urban area. So where I grew up, there was like a lot of black people in these motels where I grew up. So you know, there was a lot of rap being played there, and that's kind of like how I really. And my aunts too had like a big thing to do with it, because at that time they was listening to like. Fuck, this is like late 80s, so we talking about like Bobby Brown and fucking Color Me Bad, you know, Batarram and all that shit, you know what I mean? So I started listening to it kind of early and shit.
So you kind of pretty much grew up on it.
You know, I mean, from the moment like my earliest memories probably be around 5, so.
Right.
Probably like from like 5 to like 8, it was oldies, you know, because my mom and my dad was like, you know, they was cholos and shit, you know.
Yeah.
So I grew up kind of like that, heavy, you know. And then as I got older, you know, because of the environment we was in, the rap was, you know, because the rap comes from the ghettos, you feel me? So they was playing it early in the hoods before they played it anywhere. So I was listening to it early and shit.
Yeah, that's dope. Now, because what I'm saying, like, some people have, like, this story of, like, coming out of school and, like, first time hearing such and such artists.
I mean...
but it just kind of, like...
I mean, it was just an evolution of where I was growing up at, you know what I'm saying?
Like, just my
because it wasn't even really popular yet. Like, when I started to hear rap, it was, like, tapes that people were buying from the Rhodium. Because I'm from, like, what they call the Double S in L.A., so that's like Cudahy, Maywood, Compton, Watts, Linwood, that whole little area right there, right? So we was hearing, you know, a lot of people was getting the tapes from the Compton Swap Meet. Back then it was the Compton Fashion Center. And they had a lot of the rap shit because it was coming from the Rhodium, you dig? So the Rhodium, Compton Swap Meet, all this shit is where like all the rap shit was coming in. And really they was like just tapes that... Sometimes they didn't even have writing on them, but they would have like a little case and it'd be like, you know, just different rappers, Second to None, just all these different people you probably never heard of until that day, you dig?
Yeah.
So that's how, like I said, it just kind of evolved into my life, you feel me?
Yeah. That's dope. So were you like all in, like with hip hop, like just like a super hip hop head? Or you were just...
I mean, I definitely was. Once I heard it, I was like, okay, this is my shit, you know. But like I said, I've always been like I've always had a wide range, you know, for music and appreciation, you know, because like I said, growing up with my parents, like I heard a lot of oldies.
Yeah.
And then there was a time when I lived with my grandma for a little bit, and I remember like her and her husband playing like the Smokey Robinson album of that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the latest Smokey album.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then I would be at my mom's house and I would hear like NWA, shit like that. So it was just different. You know, I always had different just musical influences everywhere I went. It's just there was always different music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's dope. So when you started rapping, was it like, was it hard? Or you kind of...
It never really was. You know why? Like, I mean, like me, I have a cousin, and then we had always thought like, or we used to talk that we was gonna start a rapping group, but we never really did though, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, he eventually did his own music like journey, and then he went to like MI, graduated. So when I got home, he like was like my manager in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we didn't really know what we was doing, but we did it together. You know what I'm saying? So we started off like that, and
they don't teach you like the business side.
I mean, for him, he knew certain business things, but I'll be honest with you, like, you can learn everything you want in the school, but that shit ain't finna do nothing to you when you really get out in these streets.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, like, a lot of that shit is an office scenario, you know? Like, when you start to rap and you really get in the street, it's like, it's nothing about whatever you read in a book. It's more real street lessons and how you navigate in the street, because it's rare that you even step into an office, and most of the time, I mean, I've been solicited by labels and sat in front of labels, but we're talking 5 years into my journey of music. You know what I'm saying? So it's not what people think. Like it's gonna be heavily street orientated for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. So you're like considered like a lyrical rapper, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
I mean, do you consider yourself lyrical?
I mean, I used to want to be that. You know, now I'm just an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so when you started, were you like, was that in your mind? Like, I'm trying to be the most lyrical I can be?
Yeah. I mean, and for the most part, like, I've pretty much done that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a lot of Mexican rappers out here in LA that can out-rap me. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? There's rappers that are just as good as me, but is there any that are better than me? I doubt it. And you know, I say that because I've went bar for bar with some of the biggest artists in this country. You know what I mean? From Troy Avenue to fucking, I don't know, Glasses Malone to fucking J-Rock.
Like, what, you guys like having freestyle sessions?
I have records with them. I've been in the studios with them. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
and you hold your own.
My career is different because, like, when I started rapping, like I said, I started rapping in prison. So when I really started focusing on rhyming, I was in the hole. So you gotta understand, like, I was reciting these rhymes like every single day, constantly for like 2.5 years. So when I finally came home and people would hear me rap, I was already a seasoned rapper without rapping on beats.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's one thing to rap over a beat. It's another thing to be able to captivate somebody with just you rapping without a beat. And I knew how to do that because I'd been practicing for the last 2 years a cappella.
Yeah.
So every time people heard me, it was like, oh shit, like this is something completely, this is not normal. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, that led me to big situations, you know. I was only out for a few months before Gorilla Black and them found me, and I ran around with them, and then, you know, I mean, well, excuse me, I first ran into DJ Ill Will, and he was a big mixtape DJ at the time, him and DJ Rockstar, and he took a liking to me, boom, he hosted my mixtape, then eventually Cali Untouchables came. By then I was already with Gorilla Black's camp, you know, so immediately I was put into the you know, right into the nucleus of what LA rap was, and the biggest LA names at that moment, I was around them continuously because at that moment in time, Gorilla Black had just finished a gold album, so he's essentially a B-list star. So everywhere he's going, I'm going with him. So we're going to the hottest clubs, we're going to the biggest studios. You know, I met Lil Wayne with him, I met Young Jeezy, and at that moment in time, they were the biggest artists on the planet.
Yeah. Was it like 04, 05?
This was 06, 07. Actually 07, 08.
Okay.
So, you know, that like I say, my career was always it was just something completely different than what I usually meet the usual artists. And you know, they went, don't get me wrong, like I did the talent shows too and the little shows and the bars and all that, but I just elevated faster because once like legitimate people started to hear me rap, they were like, okay, we need to get him over here. You dig what I'm saying? Because I think at that moment in time, you know, Chicano rap had been around a long time and had a pretty nice run, but it's already coming to its end. And it was just, there was like a real gray area at that moment in Mexican rap in LA. And you know, it was basically like a new era, a revolution basically. And it was people like me, Omar Cruz, Smooth Hustle, Rob's the One. Who else? YB, Little Yogi, but his name is YB now. He was in that mix. It was just a handful of rappers that just was already evolving and starting to take it into a different direction.
I know, like that little era. It's kind of like, I don't want to say like unspoken, but it's because now, obviously, like Mexican rappers are like they're doing their shit, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But like you said, you guys in your little era, you guys were like really paved the way.
I mean that's a fact. There wouldn't be any of them if there wasn't us.
Right.
Because at that moment in time, like, if you sounded like the way we sounded at that moment, you was completely outcasted.
Yeah.
Like, they wasn't taking our CDs in the swap meets.
Yeah.
And I've heard Omar Cruz say the same thing before. Like, when I would take my CD there, and my shit said hosted by DJ Ill Will and all that, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, we like you have to put that over there with the black music." You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't have like, you know, huge pants and you know, Mr. Something or another wasn't in front of your name, they just wasn't taking you serious. The swap meets and all that. So a lot of just for myself, a lot of it was just word of mouth. You know, me like just pressing up thousands of CDs and just constantly just giving them away. You know, all in the city, everywhere I went, and you know, just eventually shit started to accumulate, but it took a while. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, now they got, you know, the new movement and shit. So, you know.
Right. Do you feel like you get your props for it? Or?
I mean, I don't really. I'm not an irrelevant rapper. You feel me?
Right.
Like, I'm still very much prevalent in the new Mexican game.
Yeah.
I'm not as young as like maybe Sway, but you know, they not finna talk about the top Mexican rappers and not mention my name out here at this point. You know what I'm saying?
So you do like feel offended in a way?
Nah, because I think people that feel offended are people that fell off or people that are irrelevant now, you know, so they have a chip on their shoulder like, oh, well, we started this. Like, you know, motherfuckers know what it is. You know, people been seeing me do it for the last, 10, 11 years?
For sure.
You know, so, I mean, obviously if I was there then and I'm here now, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just consistency. And you're already ahead of your time, you know?
That's another thing, you know. People always ask me like, damn, like you've been like, how come you haven't fell off, or you know, why isn't like, how are you still able to be even around the younger cats be mentioned?
Man, they're just catching up
because I was ahead of my time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I feel about Rob's too. Like you just
I always mention Rob because to me Rob is similar to myself. You know, in the aspect of like he's been doing it for a long time, still relevant. And you know, we pretty much was in the same area, you know what I'm saying?
It's like you've been doing this. It's like it's not nothing to like adapt to, you know?
Yeah, right. I mean, cause you know, I like to tell people like I was trained in the art of music. You know, when I signed to Glasses label, or not even really signed, but just became a part of that whole movement.
Was that Division?
Yeah, Division. You know, I never went there to piggyback off of Glasses' fame. I went there to learn how to be a musician. And that's exactly what I learned how to do, you know, from, you know, picking beats to writing records to, you know, choosing records for radio. I did all that. And that's why, you know, when it was time for me to leave that camp, or not even time for me to leave because there wasn't an expiration date, but when it was time for me to do my own thing and make my own way, it wasn't hard for me to do that because I was there to learn, and I did learn. I soaked up game, and you know, I Glasses is a mentor to me. You know, he's you know, a very influential person in my life, especially in music, but just overall as a person. You know, he was somebody who impacted my life. And, you know, I think, in my opinion, for him to see me and, you know, not to say that I'm this huge star, but at least be one of the few artists that was up under him that was able to go and create some type of situation, I think that's giving him due diligence in what he taught me. You feel what I'm saying?
For sure. I think that's dope for him to do, you know?
Yeah.
So, you write your rhymes?
Yeah. I mean, shit, I write other people's rhymes. There's a couple. I mean, it's funny too because I always make a joke like, there's like 2 Mexican rappers that I wrote they shit that they got millions of views, and from the song that I wrote them, and I don't have millions of views myself. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I got hundreds of thousands of views, but I haven't got that million yet. So,
yeah,
it's kind of like an inside joke, you know.
And you guys aren't doing like. You guys aren't doing like split sheets and like I wrote this.
Oh yeah, nah, I get paid up front.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
nah,
cool.
because you know, people don't want their biggest song to be, you know, identified with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a cash only business. You feel me?
That's cool. Shit.
Yeah, cash up front business.
Well, no, the reason I ask you because I know like most artists, older artists, kind of came to the point where they just write in their head.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, for the most part, I do write in my head, but I mean,
Okay.
I do write on paper
On
as well.
paper.
Well, actually, on the phone at
Yeah,
this
I was gonna
point,
say,
right? I don't write on paper.
Yeah, on the phone.
I haven't seen a piece of paper in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, we saving the environment too. You know?
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, like you always wanted to be lyrical. You said, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, I grew up listening to the greats. You know, Nas, and
So most
you know, that's my favorite rapper.
Oh, okay.
And you know, Jay-Z and Exhibit, anything that was lyrical. You know, I just grew up in that time. You know what I'm saying?
That's what caught your eye.
Yeah.
Mostly East Coast.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. Like, I mean, even to this day, like, if you look at my phone, 80% of my playlist is East Coast rappers. You know,
And
even current East Coast
I was
rappers.
gonna say that. New
Yeah.
shit too.
I got Snoop in there. You know, but like, yeah, I'm still Dave East, fucking
Dude, this is hard.
Neat Bucks, fucking, you know, I don't know. Troy Ave, I like Troy Ave. You know, just a lot of New York shit. I'm still on that. You feel me?
That's dope. So are you think you are like a big fan when it comes to
East Coast hip hop?
just period like
Oh, of hip hop, yeah. I mean, of music in general, bro. Cause like
you looking for the new hottest artist and kind of saying what's what?
you know what? I'm gonna say like this. At this point, I listen to a lot more new R&B artists. Cause that's my thing. I'm real into R&B. But
Were you always?
yeah, I've always been heavy into R&B. Rap and R&B was always my go-to. Cause like I said, I grew up listening to oldies.
Yeah.
So I had that in, you know, my mama listened to funk early too.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, all that was kind of that soul and all that old vibe just kind of was instilled in me from the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when you go into writing a song, like what's your process? Do you
my process honestly is just living, bro. You know, I kind of got a peculiar life and shit, right? And you know, so it's eventful for the minimum. You know what I mean? So I'm always involved in some crazy relationship, or you know, I'm fucking on tour with these people, or fucking, you know, there's always something going on in my life, and it's always an episode. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not an artist that puts out music like a new mixtape every month, but I'm definitely putting something out every quarter. And you know, if you really think about it, a quarter is 120 days. So in 4 months, a lot of shit can happen. You feel me? So basically, I might live for 4 or 5 months and then come back and boom, I'm gonna drop an album, I'm gonna drop an EP right after that. You know what I'm saying?
So when you go through life,
yeah,
do you think like, oh, I'm gonna write a song about this?
nah, I never do. You know,
It
but
just kind of
when it's all said and done, and you're kind of like, you know, and you're kind of like, I guess detoxing from the whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because sometimes it could be good, sometimes it could be bad. You know what I mean? I could tell you a time in my life where I got a check for $80,000 and I fucking met some new broad and people didn't see me for 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I could tell you about a girlfriend that I was just recently with that I'm really not with no more. You know what I mean? So you know, the shit gotta go, and you just gotta, you know, that's the part of my music muse, is just living my life and using that emotion to vent and, you know what I'm saying, create.
So do you start with a hook or a verse?
No, I start with a verse, and I always start from the verse to hook. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what you're gonna talk about?
Not off the rip, I won't. But I might hear a beat, and then when I hear that beat, I'm like, damn, this reminds me of that one day, or, you know? And then you just kind of start, your mind just kind of takes you to wherever it wants you to go, you know what I'm saying?
You don't have, like, pre-thought of ideas?
Once in a great while I do, but I can't say that I really write like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know if you heard the record I did with Troy Ave called Doughboy Two Step.
No.
I had that hook in my head for like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I was in San Diego, and I was with this guy that used to shoot my videos, and he was like, hey, you know who Troy Avenue is? And I'm like, yeah, I know who he is. And he's like, well, he's out here right now, you know what I mean? He's at the studio, let's go. So boom, we went over there, and that's how that whole situation started. And I remember having that hook, and then thinking, damn, this is the perfect dude, because he raps just like me. It's about selling crack and whoopty wompty, and, you know, boom, that's how that record happened. So
the beat was right and everything.
Yeah,
that's dope.
You know.
So do you have like main producers that you work with, or you just
Rated TG from Drastic Measures, DJ Ideal, and I know like a lot of people would know him from like being an internet producer, but I actually have contacted him and speak to him. So when I need beats, I can contact him directly and get a lot of shit from him. He's produced, him and Mike D exclusive have produced a lot of records for me, probably within the last 2 years.
Are you in the studio with these people, or are you just...
Well, not because Ideal's in Hawaii, and Mike D was out here, and we were supposed to link, but something happened at the time, and I wasn't able to sit down with him. But, you know, whenever I need to contact them, I contact them, and they're gonna give me what I need. So
they kind of already know your style.
Yeah, I mean, because right now my style is pretty peculiar. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I'm still giving them real raw lyrics, but I like to rap over like the new G-Funk type beats, you feel me? Like the shit that sounds like LA, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I heard some of your shit where it's like really East Coast.
Yeah. That's like the older shit, you know what I mean? But if you start getting into like the newer shit, you're gonna hear like the heavy like G-Funk type shit.
No, I heard. So how many like projects have you done?
Shit, I got 5 mixtapes before I dropped the album. So
are these like...
I got Birth of a Beast Volume 1, 2, and 3. And that was at the very beginning. So Birth of a Beast 2 and 3 were made when I was with Dollar Figure Essay.
Are they like considered like old school type mixtapes?
Yeah. They were the old school.
Rapping over the beats.
Yeah, all that. Okay. I had another one that was called Concrete Commentary. That was by Raise One, DJ Raise One. He's a big DJ back then. Back then, that was the thing, putting out mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I got the Valkyrie with September 7 from Cali Untouchables. I got Process of Elimination with DJ Head. And then I released my first album when I was with Division called Cudahy. That really went like really unnoticed because at that moment in time, like I was going to jail.
Oh, shit.
and I was out on bail, and I went to jail for like 2 years, and they released it. So nothing ever really went with it. Like, it streams well now, though. You know what I'm saying? But at that moment in time, like, we had a layout for it, but I just wasn't able to promote it because I went to jail.
Yeah.
But it got released on like hotnewhiphop.com, and at that moment in time, that was like the biggest hip hop website in the country. So, you know, like I said, I've always been blessed to have like looks that separate me from the regular local artists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you never really struggled.
I mean, yeah and no. You know what I mean? Because like in life in general, I struggled heavy. But
yeah, you know what I'm saying, like
when it came to music, it was like, you know what? I guess we always had an open door because like even when I came home, like my cousin, he had a big relationship with Meech Wells, and we would go to his studio, and I met Badass there. Badass got on my record. So you know, we always had an open door to like this exclusive relationship with like real rappers and shit. It just played out like that. You know what I mean? So I mean,
but also the talent, I think.
The talent. Obviously, the talent allowed the relationships to bloom. But you know, like my cousin definitely put me in A1 positions to be able to meet people to just kind of like start generating your name, because at that moment internet wasn't that big, so just like word of mouth was real big, you know. So and there wasn't a lot of essays running around rapping the way I was rapping, so you know, word of mouth could do you some good at that point, you know what I'm saying?
So are you working on like a new project?
Yeah, I got a new album called Make Crack Great Again.
Oh shit.
So I'll be putting that out pretty soon. You know, I'm just collecting the beats right now, and like I said, kind of like detoxing from my last few fucking 7 months of life. You know what I'm saying?
People send you beats?
Yeah. People send me beats all the time, man. But like, I'm not this dude that wants to rap. Like, I don't rap like everybody else to fucking. Like, I don't give a fuck about being famous and all that shit, right? Like, I don't rap to get money. Like, I live a very good life just being me, you dig? So, you know, I like to make the music I make. So a lot of these producers, they send me like shit that's like trendy.
Yeah.
You know, trap, or, you know, it's just some weird ass bullshit that, you know, I'm from LA. I don't want to sound like I'm from fucking Canada. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
people send me shit, but if it doesn't sound authentic to who I am as an artist, I don't touch it. You know what I'm saying?
So you basically like, you're producing, not exactly producing, but like everything that goes on the record, it's all from your mind.
Oh yeah, I'm A&Ring it. I'm A&Ring it. I'm even producing some of the records. You feel me? Like me and Rated TG, like we've co-produced a couple of records together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in charge of everything from the artwork to the everything, to the rollout, to everything.
Do you like it that way?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I've sat in front of major labels. You know, I sat in front of Priority when they first came back in. You know, before they went out again, and they offered me a budget and shit. You know, fucking other like independent companies have reached out to me. SS Global, you know, they offered me a distro contract not too long ago. Fucking another indie called JLM. I actually are doing something with them. So it's just a lot of different little companies will hit me up and offer little mini bags and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just.
That's good. Do you do a lot of features?
Nah, I don't do a lot of features. You know what I mean? Huh?
You charging?
Oh, for sure I'm charging. Yeah, you gotta pay any means, boy. You know, I don't put in way too much work not to be at least respected for the work. You know, you ain't gotta pay me. That's one thing, right? Like, I know rappers that are at my caliber, and I know rappers that are bigger, and I know what people are charging, and a lot of these dudes, they're gonna fool you on this internet. You know what I mean? Like, half of the one thing about the internet is a lot of these dudes, when you really go on their IG, you see thousands of views, but then when you go on their Spotify, they only got 500 listeners.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, my numbers are always consistently right there because it's real. I have a fan base. People know me.
Yeah.
People actually stop me in the street. They want pictures, shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, what I'm saying is, like, you got these people, they have like 500 listeners on Spotify, and they want you to pay them $2,500 for a verse.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do you expect to even recoup that? You dig what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I hate the money hungry artists.
You know, and that's why, like I say, like like I said, like I have a different income, so my life is pretty comfortable. So when I don't charge like a lot of money for my features, but you definitely got to pay me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. As they should.
Yeah.
What if? Would you ever just do it for free?
I mean, if I'd like you, 80% of the verses that I do are for free.
Oh, that's it.
You know, because if you notice, I only rap with rappers that have the same caliber of me or better rappers, right? Mm-hmm. And if I like the way you rap, like, I'm just gonna do your record. Like, I don't know if you know who Infinite is.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I like Infinite. I think he's dope as fuck. So, you know, he hit me up for a feature. I told him send me the record. Then I went out and I did the video with him. You know what I mean? I didn't charge him. I didn't ask him for nothing. Same thing with Wolf. You know who Wolf is?
No, I don't.
He's another artist that's coming up right now, and he wanted to get on the record. I thought he was a dope rapper. We did a record. We did a video. You know, so if I like you and you're underground and I think you dope, I'm gonna do the video with you. I'm gonna come do the record with you. We're gonna do whatever we gotta do, and we're gonna promote the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't solicit my rhymes though, but people do come to me, and then if they come to me and I didn't go to you, then, you know, bring your bag. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Do you feel like do you write with like competition?
Like,
do you try
for
to
sure.
Have the better verse?
Yeah. I mean, I don't never write a verse without slacking.
Do you feel like somebody ate you on the track before?
That's a good question, man. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, I think it's a lot of it. It's been internal though, you know, like, cause I got a crew of dudes that I always rap with, and
yeah.
You're not necessarily gonna hear me with a lot of dudes. So if you do hear somebody out rap me, most likely it's somebody within my own circle. Mm-hmm. And you know, like, let's say for instance, Big Sick Nasty. Mm-hmm. You know, there's been records where he got me, and, you know, there's records where I get him. You know what I'm saying? But as far as just like featuring with other people, like, nah, nobody has ever got me on the record. And I got records with Conejo. I got you know, the best of the best that they call, and like they'll tell you themselves, like, there's no really, you know, I mean, I doubt it. You know, I'm just being real. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I mean, I feel like you have to think that way just to be.
Well, you got to look at it like this, right? Ain't nobody out here going to give you a version of Annimeanz better than Annimeanz.
Yeah. You
know, I've perfected who I am as an artist. Mm-hmm. So that's, you know, that's hard to beat, you know. Cuz half of these dudes not even confident in their own self, let alone their craft. You know, like, I'm gonna go in there and give you some shit, and you're gonna be like, damn, that fool sound like he talking to you. You know, because it's flowing that fluent at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got a flow that's very like, I don't know, like conversational in a way. Like where you just, it's kind of like you're talking, but you're not. But also, you have a lot of like rhymes. You rhyme a lot of words within the bar. Like,
you feel me? It's just different, man. It's different, you know? It's really
just
different.
Be like going, does that just come natural?
At this point it does, you know, but like I said, in the beginning it was all study and learn and trial and error, and, you know, I found myself, honestly, when I became a part of Glass Malone's crew. That's when I really discovered my talent and learned how to, you know, feed off of it and become one with it. You know what I'm saying? And learn how to rap over beats that complement my flow. And, you You know, all this shit matters, bro. You feel me? You're not a complete artist just out here grasping for air and straws. You feel me? You have to have a formula. You have to, you know, motherfuckers be like, that's Annimeanz. That's American Dope Boy. That's Cudahy Dope Boy. That's the brand. You dig what I'm saying? Like, that's what Annimeanz is. You know, he's that corner hustler motherfucker. You know, that Mexican corner hustler dude. That's what Annimeanz embodies. And that whole era of where I come from and the whole area. So, you know, if you're not perfecting who you are as an artist, then you're not delivering at your 100%. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not delivering at 100%, then obviously people can out-talent you. But when you're like myself and you've been, and this is not me bragging, it's just being honest. Like, when you've spent hours upon hours perfecting your craft and making song after song, like, it's going to be hard to one-up you when you're moving at all, you know.
Yeah, I'd say, like, nowadays, the way it's so easy to make a song and make a video and just, like, put it out on Land Beast, a lot of people haven't perfected their craft, and you can tell, and, like, they're unseasoned and they don't really know what they're doing, but it's so easy to do it now. It's just...
And, you know, and that's why, for instance, it's like there's no medium in Mexican rap, if you notice that. There's only the good artists and the bad artists. There's no middle ground. You feel me? And that's why, like, that's another reason why somebody like Annimeanz is still being mentioned in the conversation with somebody like King Little G. And he got millions of views. But because of my talent level and because there is no medium in this game, the talent is still mixed in with the top stars, and you know the other shit is garbage, and you're just able to shine bright even if you're not on the same page as the bigger rapper.
Yeah. Just
because your talent is not normal, and that's how this game is. It's no medium here. There's no a lot of shit here. It's still very raw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's still very pre Def Jam in
Right.
in 86. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a crazy way to look at it. Because, I mean, we're here, we're living it, and we're seeing it happen.
Well, yeah, you know, it's like I always tell people, like, okay, like, for instance, our rappers, you know, when I say our, I mean our gente, Chicanos. You know, we always like, yo, we got to get this black guy to sign us, or, you know, if Game comes and tells people I'm hot, they're going to believe me. You know, what we don't understand is, like, let's say, for instance, I don't know, fucking Sway, right? He's hot right now, right? In LA. What's the hottest black rapper in LA right now? I don't want to say Blue Bucks Clan, right? Sway is the equivalent of Blue Bucks Clan. The only thing that's different between Sway and Blue Bucks is that they have a bigger audience, but in reality, they're the same exact star. But they're pretty much neck and neck. It's just one scene has a smaller amount of people and one scene has a bigger amount of people. Okay. So it makes it look bigger. But in reality, if you really measure them up, they're all the same. They're getting the same amount of views. They're getting the same amount of likes. They're, you know, you see what I'm saying? It's all the equivalent. Only one is being allowed to be broadcasted around the country and one is only being broadcasted locally.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you got a rapper that's getting 2 million views locally. What do you think is going to happen if you broadcast him nationally? Right. You know, but that's the thing that we haven't been able to cross over on, because we're still waiting for, like, the music industry to realize our growth and our worth and start signing people and changing our lives. Yeah. That's not how it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like I said, we're very early, Def Jam 86. So what happened then? They had to create the building. Then the building started to get the deals. You know, we don't have... Name me one Chicano... And I don't even want to use the word Chicano rap because I'm not a Chicano rapper. Name me one Mexican-based rap label that you could walk into right now in Los Angeles. Tell me what label it is. Show me their building. Show me where their studio is. Let me know where I can go find them. What CEO? Who is he?
Nobody.
But for black artists, you could go down to... what is it, Carson or wherever, where Top Dog and them had that house studio. You can find them there, right? I'm pretty sure. You know, same thing with motherfucking Aftermath or all these other labels. That's why we're never gonna win until we can create our own institutions. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, see, like, okay, I remember when I was younger, when an artist will come out of like a city that nobody's really ever heard of, or not never ever heard of, but like I can remember like when Houston, I forgot who was the artist, but it was like once one artist got on, for some reason the labels go and they sign all the other artists.
Yeah. It happens like that a lot. Yeah.
So I kind of feel that could happen the same way. Like if we get one that does just blows it out of the water, then everybody else is just gonna fall along with it.
It will, but you know, the main thing that we lack is the support from the community.
Yeah.
And you got to understand the reason why, and this is a whole problem, right? The rappers lack the support of the community. The community lacks the want to support because they feel like they're not being properly represented, right? Because let's say, for instance, Chicano rap at one point was a wave. It was a movement. It was a time. It was a period in time in life, right? But that doesn't speak for every single Chicano rapper. I got my cousin right here. That doesn't speak for his lifestyle. He's not a gangster. Mm-hmm. He's not a cholo. Mm-hmm. You dig? He's just a Chicano, a Mexican man that grew up in Los Angeles. He grew up in the hood, though.
Yeah.
You dig? So you gotta understand, like, there's more people like him than there's more people like me. What's the population of gang members? 1-2%, if that. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else is civilians. Mm-hmm. So you gotta think, like, they're not making music for the bulk of the community. So the bulk of the community doesn't accept that lifestyle, or it has nothing to do with that lifestyle. So when Chicano rap doesn't want to evolve into what's going on now, because whether you want to believe it or not, like, Chicano rap still doesn't approve of the new rappers. They still are hating on people. You know, you got Capone still in the mix. You think what I'm saying? Like, he's a CEO.
Yeah.
He should be behind the desk signing people, but he's still in videos and shit, right?
He's still trying to.
I mean, that's to each its own. But if I had that type of influence, that experience, I'd be making millions of dollars. You know what I mean? It's time. At some point, you become a general, right? So, you know, that's the problem with the scene, is that you have all these people that are really scared to rep it because they think it's still that, because they still see that. It's still being openly promoted. You know, at what point don't we put the past to bed? I'm not saying that we don't acknowledge it, because obviously without them there was no us, and without us there's no them.
Yeah.
You know, so we always got to acknowledge it, but at what point do we put the lid on it and move forward? You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what causes the confusion for the community and for the consumers of what we do, because there's just so many of them that they don't want to be that. That's not cool to them. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know, peso's cool. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's in my opinion where we're going wrong constantly.
Yeah, I don't think we. I don't know. It's just weird. Cause like for me, I'm from Pacoima, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like really gang banging, and everybody's super choloed out. So I remember when I did a video, and I'm just regular me, and I'm rapping. I was rapping to like a 50 Cent beat and shit, and somebody commented like, "Bro, you make Pacoima look bad." I'm like, "Well, I'm from Pacoima, and I'm just doing me." Mm-hmm. But he's saying in that sense, because I'm not like super choloed out and like portraying this part that you want me to portray, and just get the hate off top, like automatically, you know? And I think there's a lot of that, especially with like the newer artists, like using the N-word. Like,
yeah.
A lot of people just get thrown off of that shit like right away. Like, oh, I can't listen to this.
I mean, you know, I grew up around that word. You know, they use it in my hood. Mm-hmm. I used it a lot at one point coming up. You know, but as you get older, it's kind of like they're laughing at us, not with us scenario. You know, I think a lot of people think it's cool to use the word, and you know, for the most part, our people want to, from what I see, show camaraderie with the other side, I guess, which is cool with me, you know, but you gotta understand, like, that word is only complacent for them because they made it for themselves. You know, if we say the word nigga, like, that's gonna offend them. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, how was the word even created? By somebody that wasn't their own race calling them that.
Yeah.
So how do you think they feel? And then, you know, if you get a hold of the smart ones that really know what's going on, they really think you a white man anyway, because in reality, if you have Mexican, you have European. Because that's what a Mexican is. A European mixed with a native. Boom.
Mexican. Welcome
to Mexico. You feel what I'm saying? So there's just so many things that are going to make them not like the fact that you're saying the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I just don't really think we need them. You know, not in a disrespectful way, but in a growth way, in a we need to build our own empire way. You know what I'm saying? We don't need the influence or help of anybody else other than ourselves, because they can't tell our stories just like we can't tell theirs.
Yeah.
You dig? Like, I can tell you everything that's going on in my body, but I can't tell you everything that's going on in this crib set 20 minutes away. You see what I'm saying? So I don't get the importance.
Do we need to separate ourselves? Like, have our own little, like, scene?
I mean, I don't want to use the word segregation, because I don't think it should be segregated. But I think that we need to lay our own foundation before we go trying to add or take away from somebody else's foundation. You see what I'm saying? Because what do we have to fall back on if we don't do that? Nothing.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't think these youngsters are thinking like that. I think it's people are just doing what they do, and they're not even thinking twice about what's what. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I'll be honest with you. Any plan without preparation is failing at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got to think: are these artists that you're talking about? Are they artists that are for the people and for the movement, or are they artists that are for themselves? And there's nothing wrong with being for yourself, because you know your talent is your personal thing. You know, someone like myself is someone that has been in it for my own personal gain, and now I'm here for the overall gain, because I've been in it long enough to know that there's so much more that we could have had or achieved if the people that came before us laid a foundation.
So you think that comes with your age?
Oh, obviously. I mean, you know, if you're the same dude you were 5 years ago, then you're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Counterproductive at that point.
For sure.
You know?
It's just hard. I mean, you remember, like, when you're young, you ain't trying to hear shit from nobody. Like,
I mean, you know. Hey, I'm you know, I'm not here to really change the world and shit, you know. I just give suggestions.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm big on common sense.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, you know, it's just common sense that until we begin to create our own institutions and our own pipeline, we're always going to be at the mercy of somebody else and what they think we deserve, opposed to what we feel we deserve. You know, imagine if Motown and all these other labels, Michael Jackson, he owns his master. Imagine if all that shit didn't happen before Jay-Z came along. You think Jay-Z would have been able to take it to the heights he did?
No.
Because even for himself, like, for instance, the Annie song, he made it to where no other rapper ever asked to sample it again or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, he even changed shit on his way up. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have the foundation, there's nothing for you to continue to. There's no evolution. You know.
So you a big Jay-Z fan?
I'm a Jay-Z fan. I'm not a huge one. I mean, I'm a Nas fan over Jay-Z for sure.
What? Most people say that. It's funny to me.
Yo, Matt Alcatraz is a big Jay-Z fan.
But he says he likes Nas better than.
Oh, does he? Yeah. Oh, he didn't used to. I don't know him. He must have switched it up, but
yeah. So it's
probably using common sense now.
Yeah. So how do you feel like with Nas? Do you listen to Nas's new shit?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be 100 with you. Nas's last good album, Nas's last great album is King Disease 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 2 and Lost Tapes, 3 and this other one, these other 2, Magic. I mean, they're cool, but they're not what, you know. I mean, Nas is getting older, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's crazy that like people as good as Nas, right? Even though like you're not really feeling the magic shit. If somebody else were to spit the same shit that's not considered as Nas, everybody would go crazy for it.
Yeah. I mean, because you got to think, right? Like, we watched Nas from the time he was a nobody to Nas is a billionaire right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not advertised as much as Jay-Z, but Nas is a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear a billionaire rapping street shit, it's just not appealing to me no more. You know what I'm saying? That's like for me, right? Like, okay, like Cut Hey Dope Boy 3. If you really listen to it, like Cut Hey Dope Boy 3 isn't about crack no more.
Yeah.
You know, it's about elevation if you really think about it. You know, I got records on there talking about how I gave turkeys away last year in my hood. The hood I grew up in, the hood that I committed crime in. Mm-hmm. The hood that every time I went to jail, it was in that hood. You know, I talk about how I went back and I gave 300 turkeys away to them people. Or, you know, fucking...
So do you like Jay-Z better because of that fact? Like with 444, he's, you know...
It's whatever to me, you know.
See, you kind of contradicting yourself.
No, I mean, for me, what I'm saying is, yeah, growth is inevitable, but I mean, some people wear growth better than others.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, just because we both went and got lipo, don't mean you're gonna look better than me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Your body's different. You might have a natural muscle structure, so you get skinny and might not have to work out too much more, so it looks better on you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just eventually, you know, it's how you rock it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Got to be in you. It can't be on you. You know?
Yeah. What would you say is your favorite album? Well, let me ask you. Do you have a top 5?
Yeah, for sure. My top 5 is it will be Nas, and it changes. It varies at times, you know. It'll be Nas. It'll be Big. Pac, you know, Pac is in there. Fuck, you know, and you know, Jay-Z's in there. Fucking Eminem, you know, and then I'd still want to mention Scarface.
So what's your favorite?
Different motherfuckers, you know.
What's your favorite Nas album?
My favorite Nas album would be Stillmatic.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be Stillmatic. I like Illmatic too. I like It Was Written, but Stillmatic is the album for me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, do you have a favorite song?
Huh?
Favorite song?
Yeah, man, pretty much that whole joint, but Who's the Man, Rewind, fucking The Flyest probably be my favorite under there. Mm-hmm. You know, with him and AZ, yeah.
So that's one album you can just anytime,
yeah,
anywhere.
Yeah, I was listening to it this morning, I think.
Yeah, okay. That's what's up.
You know.
Favorite Biggie album?
My favorite Biggie album is gonna be Life After Death. Life After Death.
1 or 2? 1 or 2?
I like the whole thing. Yeah, I like the whole thing.
All right. Do you have a favorite song off of that?
10 Crack Commandments.
That makes sense.
Fucking You Tonight and What's Beef.
All right. Do you feel like Biggie would be as great without Puff?
I don't know. I really honestly don't know. I think he was great. He was really great with the Hitman, right?
Yeah. Well, because I feel like Pac, they always compare Biggie to Pac.
Yeah, but Pac had different producers.
That's what I'm saying.
Johnny J, Dr. Dre.
That was.
I mean, Biggie, like I said, Biggie. It was more Biggie and the Hitman more than it was Biggie and Puff.
But
Puff was more of a hype man.
Nah, but I mean, you gotta give him his credit, bro. Like, he really helped them and put the whole shit together.
I mean, he did the singles. He produced the big singles.
I think he had more input than that.
You think?
Yeah.
I seen a lot of the documentaries.
Okay.
I mean, obviously he had input in the aspect of fashion.
I mean, was he not like in every session and like really producing the shit?
I no, because I mean, what records did he co-produce?
Biggie?
Well, where you gotta.
I mean, I gotta read the credits, but
gotta read the credits at that point.
I wouldn't be amazed.
I remember the credits saying the Hitman for about 16 albums.
I wouldn't be
16
amazed
records.
if every song says produced by Puff Daddy, co-produced.
I know for a fact Juicy and probably Biggie, that one, probably that one. Those are the records that Puff had influence with, I believe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he even had records with Havoc from Mobb Deep.
Well, I'm saying, like, okay, like, with Pac's, like, earlier career compared to Biggie.
Well, Pac, you can't... Okay, look, Pac had a longer career than Biggie.
Yeah, but I'm saying Biggie, first two out the gate, freaking classics.
Yeah, but you still can't add up his potential run to the run that Pac actually had. Because Pac was already platinum way before that,
Yeah,
he went platinum on what?
Me Against the World.
Me Against the World was platinum. Before that, Thug Life. He was popping already on Thug Life. He had movies.
I feel like Pac needs to be produced. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, any artist that's properly produced is going to shine brighter than they would if they just pick a beat and walk in there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
a lot of artists kind of do it themselves.
Yeah, I mean, most artists do, But then again, that's the difference between rappers and real artists. Mm-hmm. Like, if I want to get produced, I'll go visit a producer that I know. And they'll set me up. Right. It doesn't matter if it's a no-namer or a big-namer, you know what I mean? Because I got records with the Mechanics. I got records with C-Balling.
To take the back seat and kind of let the producer lead the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I went there to see you specifically for a reason, then I'm going to execute why I'm there, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Like, you just rap, like, do your part.
Well, I'm going to be like, well, what's the idea with this joint? How do you feel about it? And then they're going to explain to me, I want to rap about a bitch right here. Okay, well, give me a vibe. What's the vibe? Hawaii.
Sure.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's get in that vibe then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know most artists are not open to that at all.
Well, that's why there's rappers and there's artists. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it works. Some artists it doesn't. Like, I look like the Neptunes and what Pharrell's like able to do with different artists that he worked with. Oh. And I would think a major part of that is because they let him kind of lead
produce
the way and tell him what's gonna be hot and what's not. So the way he did with Snoop, like, it's undeniable, Difference between producers and beat makers.
Well, producers, they have a vision for the record. They have an idea. They know what they want to hear.
Yeah.
They have the mood. The whole nine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what's your favorite album of yours?
The Cut of Hate Dope Boys. Because
like all three series?
They're my favorite because to me it was like it was a story of my life, Mm-hmm. And it if you don't know those, if you ain't a fan of me, then you might not understand it. You'd have to go and really listen to the records, and even learn how, and even notice how, like, from Doughboy 1 to 3, how the records evolve within their own selves. You know, and you can tell, like, Cut Hey Doughboy 2 is a very dark project because there was a lot of things going on in my life at that time. You know what I'm saying? And then Cut Hey Doughboy 3, which came a year later or a year and a half later, is more of a up-tempo and bright project because it was a different time in my life. You know, I was a different person at that point. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why there's still my biggest streaming albums right now, because that's what really put me and solidified me. Those records happened after I left Glass of Malone's camp, you know, and that was me pretty much solidifying and becoming who I was as a rapper, Annimeanz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, one track that stands out to me is "Loyalty Is Everything."
Yeah.
That's the one. Is that like a real, true, personal story?
Yeah, that's funny that, you know, you're one of the very few people to ever ask that. Yeah, and that record, if you know the record, it tells you, you know, if people want to know why I left, that record tells you.
Okay.
You know, so the story is in the music. You just have to listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when people say, "Why did you leave the Vision?" Well, go listen to the music, and you'll figure it all out on your own. You know what I'm saying?
And it's there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that just really stood out to me. Like, and I think those types of songs don't really get made anymore, where it's like a story to it. And, you know, I only know like.
Well, you know, it was an emotional time for me when I made the record, because I felt very strongly in the stance that I had at that moment. I don't feel like that no more, you know, and you know, I'm not upset with Glasses no more, you know what I mean? And I understand now. You know, at that moment I didn't understand. And,
so when you listen to it, do you feel like regret?
I don't regret nothing, because I that's how I felt.
Yeah. Do you still like it though? Like that?
Yeah, it's the shit, you know.
So do you listen to yourself like, damn?
I honestly don't listen to myself like over and over, and I'm not like that. But when I do hear the records, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like, I remember, like, it's like a movie, you know. I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing at that moment in time, you know. So.
How long does it take you to like record a verse?
At this point, 7-8 minutes, I'm done.
What about writing?
15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
I can knock them out every half hour if I'm really focused, you know.
So just real quick.
Yeah.
So do you listen back a lot?
Yeah. We're real meticulous where I record at, so once it's released, best believe we did everything. We took out the air pockets, we vocally aligned it, we did everything you could think of. You know, we're real meticulous.
Do you double?
Yeah, I only do add back. I only double my backs.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hardly tell, honestly.
Yeah.
It just sounds like one take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do punch here and there, but I don't really need to punch. Not at this point, you know.
Did you before punching?
No. You know what, kind of in the beginning, because I used to rap in a different tone.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you go more like aggressive.
Yeah, like more raspy. Yeah, so I did used to have to like double and punch it and shit like that. But when I started using my natural tone, it was easy because there wasn't no strain on my voice anymore. You know.
So it's just basically like your talking voice.
Yeah, the voice that you hear me talking is the voice I rap in right now. Yeah.
Is it easier?
Yeah, a lot easier because, like I said, I was forcing a voice that wasn't mine. You know what I'm saying?
You know, well, when I rap, I like push it out. Like,
yeah, well, I guess you want to have a little bit more of an aggressive.
Yeah.
You know.
No, but mine is like drastically.
But it was a complete character change in the beginning of, my voice was like, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't talk like that, so you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
So you just like, you know what?
Well, after a while, it just got monotonous for me. I'm gonna just be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, it started to be like it started to get to a point where I could only record at one studio because he knew my levels and all that. Because I tried to go to other studios and record in that same vocal tone, and they didn't know how to mix me. You know, so shit would be loud, peaking, and so I'd always have to just record at this one studio, and it was starting to like hinder the progress. Because I'd be trying to do features and shit wouldn't sound right at times. And I was like, you know, and like I said, it just got monotonous after a while. It got to a point where I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Well, fuck it, let me try this other way. You know, and it just came, it was a total like, I mean, the old mixtapes with the old voice streamed well too now. And I never really realized how many people appreciated it back then. Mm-hmm. But I started to get more recognition and bigger opportunities once I started rapping in my natural tone.
Did you like it better?
At first, I was a little self-conscious about it, but the more I started to notice that people were appreciating it more, the more confident I got. Mm-hmm. And that's when I ended up in New York on thisis50.com.
Yeah.
So, you know, bigger opportunities came along because it just was more digestible, you know what I'm saying?
It worked out.
You know.
Sunny. I try, but I don't like my regular voice.
Yeah, you got to be confident in something, man.
Yeah. It's like I feel it's too lazy.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Like I'm not Mace and shit working.
Yeah, I feel it.
Which.
So what's up with this battle, man? I seen your last video. Y'all was talking about the battle and all that.
Let's get into that. So what's your side of the story? Because he basically said you pulled up.
Okay, you know, this is the reality. Well, this is the truth on my behalf, right? My same cousin, the one that I was rapping with, he was in Hollywood somewhere, and it was somebody from New York that was running like a little mini podcast. Podcasts weren't around yet, actually, but it was like they had some type of little underground radio show going on. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. All right, because I know a dude from New York named Iceman that runs around my boy Flight Mob, and for some reason, I want to say that the dude from New York was Iceman, but it wasn't. It was somebody else. I have to ask my cousin what the guy's name was, but me and him had got in a conversation about something, and then my cousin went to this radio station. I guess Alcatraz happened to be there. So they were kind of like talking about Mexicans that rap, whoop-de-whoop, and somehow, from what they told me, was that Alcatraz like started freestyling and like saying little shit with my name or some shit. Yeah. So that's how that started on my behalf. Now there was Concrete. I'm sure you know who Concrete is. He was having a video shoot, and I was the one who brought Concrete in to Dollar Figure Essay at the time. So I had already knew Concrete. We had already had a relationship for over a year at this point. Mm-hmm. And he had asked me to go over there. And ironically, it was the same week that we had heard about Alcatraz, like doing whatever he was doing. So, you know, that's when I ran into him at that thing, and I was like, "What's up?" You know, whoop-de. And that's really honestly all I really remember about that. I remember that specific. Like, I remember the day, I remember the meeting of how we met, but I don't necessarily remember all the rapping, cause you know, it was I don't remember fucking verses. That's got to be almost 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the actual battle getting put up, like I said, that's always been a highlight for Alcatraz's career. Mm-hmm. You know, that he likes to, I battled Annimeanz. You know, like I said, that's a highlight for him. You know, for me, I'd already been with Gorilla Black. I'd already, you know, that was just every day. This is another day at the office type thing. Mm-hmm. So I never really, you know, paid attention to like the comments and who won. Just for the sake of saying it, yeah, I'll say I won, but I don't really even remember it like that. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why the video came down, though, was because when I came home in 2016, I went on a national radio run. And at one point, I had like 36 markets were playing my record in mix show. So we wanted to just get rid of any content that wasn't up to par at that moment, you know, because I just had a different image, and so we got rid of that video. And, you know, I told Icon to take it down because, like I said, it wasn't really bringing me any value. It was more like bringing, you know, another artist value. And I'm not hating, but at the same time, like, we're not giving away no free meals. You feel what I'm saying? And it was like, you know, I'm traveling around the country. I'm touring. And people are looking at me. I'm getting traffic. So why am I, you know, advertising somebody else? You know what I'm saying? And that's not hate. That's just being real. You know what I mean? So that's what happened to the video. I had him take it down. But, I mean, you know, don't get it twisted. Like, it wasn't some grand battle where there was a million people watching. And, you know, and as far as the written thing, like, I mean, at that moment in time, like, everybody spit riddens. That's what it was. Like, you ran into fools and you fools would just start rapping verses. Yeah. It's rare that you really find somebody that freestyles. So I do kind of remember him freestyling. So, you know, props to him on that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's always been a highlight for him. Because I kind of moved forward and did way better and bigger things.
I think it's just a dope moment. And
yeah, it's just one of them moments in hip-hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's... They should... they probably don't even have the shit anymore.
I'll be real with you. The battle with me and Gritty is probably a legendary battle that'll go down in Mexican rap history in LA. You know, that battle was something that was big. You know what I'm saying?
How many battles have you been in?
Shit, I've taken on anybody that's willing to bring it. You know what I'm saying? I don't win at a lot of, you know, I don't win at some of the biggest rappers and shit.
You guys only went one with Gritty, right? 1-1?
Yeah, because, you know, shit started to get sticky.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of inside info too, so.
Yeah, I could tell.
I was ready to go, you know?
Yeah.
And they brought it, you know. It got brought to the table where both parties decided it was probably best that we just move forward, you know, because this is about to get real sticky.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, you know, it was in the best interest of both parties, I guess, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's entertaining.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, like I said, that, you know, if any battle is ever going to get linked to me like that, it's going to be the Gritty one before the Alcatraz one, you know. I'm just being honest, you know what I'm saying? No hate. Because, you know, Traz doing his thing now, I guess, you know.
What if he drops a diss track right now?
I mean, whatever. I mean, I'll be honest. I know Traz good, man. You know, me and Traz are not necessarily the best of friends at this moment, but, you know, Traz was one of the only people that wrote me when I was in prison. You know what I mean? Traz is a good dude. He got a good heart, you know what I mean? But he has a competitive nature that kind of will allow you to be at ends with him at times, you know, because he's competitive dude, you know. He's into hip-hop, you know. That's his thing.
Yeah.
I'm the same way, you know. I'm not as competitive as him, but for some reason, you know, that's just like one of them dudes that just in your path has always been there, you know, like if you're at a job and that's that one coworker you're always having to go up against, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
You know, me and Traz we've been friends, but then we've been at ends too, you know, because, you know, I ain't gonna lie, I think when I was at Division, you know, he felt a little bit of the pressure, you know what I'm saying, because...
Was he never part of Division?
No, he was the first Mexican from Division, actually.
Yeah. So you guys were there at the same time?
Yeah, I was there at the same time as he was, but I came years later.
Mm-hmm.
I came maybe 3 years after he did.
Okay.
But then you got to understand, when I came, I was already Annimeanz. So that's why, you know, Traz was kind of like in a transition. He wasn't really putting out projects no more, and he was like doing a battle rap thing. So it was always like a comparison between me and him as far as rap is concerned. Mm-hmm. And I was constantly working. I never stopped working. So it was always like, well, Annimeanz doing this, or damn, Annimeanz doing that. You feel what I'm saying? So it was always like it kind of created a rivalry between us in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we just, two different people with two different opinions. You know what I mean? Two different Mexicans from two different environments. You know, he may come from a hood, but he's not that type of guy. And I come from a hood, and I'm from a gang. So it's just two different people with just, you know, I think what brought us close was just our love for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we both kind of like had them chips on our shoulders, and you know, just got competitive between us, and it always, you know, even if we were hanging around now, at some point it'd become competitive. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he said like when he saw you, like he thought you were just gonna be like a Chicano rapper. Did you get that a lot?
Oh yeah, I mean, I get that now. You know, people, you know, I can't change. I'm Mexican from LA. I'm Cholo, bro. You know, I can't change that if I wanted to. So you know, I've always gotten that stigma. But you know, when they hear the flow, they know this shit is not to be played with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So do you like not like to be called Chicano rap?
I don't like being called Chicano rap because I'm not a Chicano rapper, and Chicano rap never accepted me. So why would I want to be called? You know, that's like me wanting to be called brown, and brown people don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Like Chicano rap never accepted me. You know, they call me a mayatero.
That's what I always
and whatever other derogatory shit you could think of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I remember somebody asked me, I'm like, they wouldn't even like me saying that, you know? Like,
you feel me? But I mean, I'm a Chicano, bro. I'm a Chicano. I'm half native. You feel me? You know, I'm very transparent. You know, I show mad respect to the dudes that come before me, you know, because I grew up on motherfucking Proper Dose and Lighter Shade of Brown and all that shit. You know, when I heard them, that shit made me like, yo, like, these fools are like me. You feel me? So I definitely pay homage to it for sure, but that's not what I do. You're just not gonna put a midget local album on and an Annimeanz album and compare the similarities, because there is none, you know. So there's no reason for me to claim something that I'm not, and like I said, something that didn't want to accept me from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So
what if I introduced you like Chicano rap or Annimeanz?
Nah, I mean, just, you know, people know me as Annimeanz, you know.
Yeah. I think you're past it. Just, I don't know. So when you're coming up, you did get like a lot of hate.
Oh, I got mad hate, bro. Trust, bro. I used to, man, dog. I could tell you some shit, bro. Fucking, I remember this one time they did a big ass Chicano rap show in Temecula, right? And I was living in Montebello at my grandma's house at the time. I didn't know where in the fuck Temecula was. Anyways, I was running around with Frank Nitty and Owlboy at the time, right? I don't know if you know who Owlboy is. Money Don't Sleep and all that shit. Shout out to Owlboy, man. I've been knowing that for a long time. Money Don't Sleep, bitch. Yeah. Anyway, so we get up there, right? And it's a big Chicano rap show. And there's rappers there that are still out now, so I ain't gonna say their names. But basically what happened was there became a conflict because we showed up like half black and brown. You know, Frank Nitty had his homies with me. Matter of fact, my cousin that I started rapping with, he was with me. Right? So it was like us, and so it was like a mixed crowd, black and Mexicans. So we ended up getting over there. Long story short, me, Frank Nitty, my cousin, another little dude I used to run around with named Cecilia Million, we get in a big ass brawl, bro. Because, you know, it was homies, and they were like, oh, you're going to protect these mayates, and it just, boom, it popped, right? And it had nothing to do with black and brown, but the homies were drunk, and it just kind of jumped off like that. So I showed up with Frank Nitty, you know what I mean? So if I show up with you, I'm finna leave with you. So long story short, it was a big ass fade, bro. I'm talking about, it was a straight prison rumble in that motherfucker. The funny part about that story, I always tell people, and it makes people laugh, is that Frank Nitty walked out the club, right? And he's like, because if you know Frank Nitty, he got like a peculiar voice, and he kind of talks like this, you know. So fucking this nigga Frank Nitty, he's like, y'all niggas want to fuck with Frank Nitty, cuz? But he says it real loud the way he's talking, and he starts swinging. And I swear to God, I seen Frank Nitty knock out 4 people consecutively. You want to fuck with Frank Nitty, cuz? Bow, bow. The whole time we're jumping some fools, and so yeah, you know, I seen a lot of little things like that happen coming up, you know, because they just wasn't giving up none, bro. The original Chicano rappers just weren't having it. They were eating and they weren't letting nobody in that they didn't have an interest in. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think they're still trying to do that?
Nah, I mean, at this point, Chicano rappers are holding on for dear life, and that's a fact, bro. I watch it all the time. You know?
Yeah.
But that's what happens, man, when you don't know how to evolve and change with the times, you know? Out with the old, in with the new, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess so. Chicano rappers. Alright, we can wrap it up, bro.
Alright, cool.
Unless you got something else.
You got some good content right there, man.
Hell yeah. Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, no problem.